welcome. Hassan, welcome back, and we're grateful that you're back and you went home, you did the needful, and our hope is that you will settled now, and that is in a better place, watching over you and family, and he's keeping you guys safe. So hope everything is working out well for you and the family in this tragic moment. Um, Again, yeah, I'm sure you see the news. Me and you, we certainly see the news. We are engaged. We're getting information from everywhere, disagree on certain things. But it's the nature of things here. What is your take on the U.S. Israel attack on Iran? It is something, I mean, we all thought that it was building for a little while. Did you expect it to happen so soon? Do you think it was opportune moment for them to strike? I mean, what were your thoughts when it finally happened? Because I think we had an inkling that it was going to happen.
Of course, this was obviously bound to happen. We know the 12-day war did not go as well as the United States and Israel would have hoped. They set themselves up a couple of objectives, which I believe none were met because they wanted to destroy Iran's ability to enrich uranium. They tried that. I believe they realized that did not work. They attempted to do a regime change by killing leaders of the Iranian government. That, of course, didn't work. They killed a few, but I'm sure their targets were not completely achieved because, of course, the Ayatollah was still alive, and they had a few other senior military and scientific
Hmm.
individuals who were alive, who they missed.
Yeah.
So it was obvious that Iran was not going to crumble. And as a result, Netanyahu did not get what he wanted. And so, of course, he immediately started to lay the groundwork for another attack. For those who have followed this area closely, you would know that there have been a couple of times between the 12-day war and February the 28th, where people had anticipated that an attack was going to happen,
Hmm.
which didn't. And from what I hear from the sources, social media, and the experts that I kind of listen and follow, they would explain that America realized at some point that they did not have what it took for another attack. So in terms of the defense missiles, air defense missiles, in terms of their attack capability. That's why President Donald Trump, started moving assets from from around Venezuela
Hmm.
down to the Middle East. They had their warships. They were stocking on ammunition and all that. And again, it takes time for all that to happen, right? So
Yeah.
I also get the feeling that um, Netanyahu, of course, wouldn't stop pushing because I think one of his dreams was to dismantle, to attack and dismantle Iran, and he saw this as an opportunity to kind of do that. And so, yeah, on the 28th of February, they launched the strike. It's been going on for 5 days today. Of course,
Hmm.
casualties. So again, our heart goes to those who have lost loved ones
Hmm.
during this war. And again, on all sides, I'm not people die. It doesn't matter which
Yeah.
side they're on, right? So I should start by really saying that. Um, Prominent people who have died so far in Iran, of course, the Ayatollah's dead,
Yeah.
died on the first day of the attack. I think he was their primary
Hmm.
target. A few other senior military officers were also targeted and killed, and there were also about 150 uh, girls, people, students
Hmm.
who were killed as a result of a bomb that was dropped on them by Israel. So again, these are children caught in the crossfire, caught in the middle of this war. So yes, it's sad that is happening. So yeah, it's we are day 5, and we don't feel like it's going to end anytime soon. So
Hmm.
we are here. I mean, it's that's kind of what my initial thoughts have been. It's like it was bound to happen, and I wasn't surprised that the war started all over again.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I share your sentiments. It's the same for me. It's been building up since. Trump, if you follow him, he's been talking about it too. Netanyahu has been to the White House several times. There's been
Seven
talks
times in less
seven
than a
times.
year.
Here's
I
right
don't
here.
think
Yeah,
any other world leader has visited
I've
The
visited the
White
White
House
House
that
that
much,
many
right?
times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not even the guy from Ukraine. um Iran too is preparing and stuff. So I join you in saying this is sad to see all the destruction, all the damage that has been happening again on both sides. But it goes to tell you that people are committed to their position. They don't care what is going to happen to the innocent. So it's sad to see. But again, that's human nature. That's the fallen nature of man.
Mhm.
Things are bound to happen. Wars happen. We all knew with all the assembly of us now from around the world to the Middle East. We all knew this was going to happen at some point. Um, Americans and the Israelis, of course, have their own side of the story. The Iranians have their own side of the story. So, who knows? We're just going to butt heads here and see where we are. Um, Again, it's sad. The supreme leader of Iran is gone. He's been supreme leader since 1979. So this is significant for the people of Iran who support him. There are some talks about him not having the support of the majority of Iranians. So that also played a fact in today. So I think overall the U.S. government and Israel thought Iran was really weak, and they thought this was the right time to strike. They're dealing with in-house disputes and bargains and economic sanctions, and then they felt it was good to them. Anyways, we're gonna get in that.
Mhm.
So you thought this was bound to happen. Um, do you think Iran overseas they've retaliated casualties on the U.S. side on the Israeli side? Did you think it was a fair war to start with, given the background of Iran and the U.S.?
You mean
Um,
fair in the sense of the
mm,
reasons why the war was started in the
right.
first place?
Mhm. And if on the side, and can any war be fair? I mean, there's war because the two parties are always at the unbalance. That's why one
Yeah.
side
Yeah.
literally has to defeat the other side.
Yeah.
Literally, people come to the table when one side is like at the mercy of the other side. Like, okay, we can talk now. War is not I kill one, you kill one. That's never how it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to the question, do you think all the options were taken seriously?
So again, let's just be clear. Iran
Hmm.
has always wanted to negotiate, because when we talk like this, we give the impression that Iran had never wanted to come to the negotiation. Iran was on the negotiating table,
Hmm.
and this is the second time it's happening. The 12-day war, Iran was on the negotiating table when the United States and Israel launched an attack on them.
Yeah.
They were out to negotiate,
Hmm.
and then again before the 28th, they were on the negotiating table, negotiating with representatives from 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 the US through a mediator in Oman. But again, they were on the table. It's not like when you go to negotiate, you're not going to impose terms. That's why they call it a negotiation, which means
Hmm.
two people have different views on a particular issue, and they come to the table and they talk about their views and they find a common ground. That is what you expect to see in a negotiation. When one of the parties come to a negotiation with terms and say, this is what I want to see, then
Hmm.
it's not a negotiation anymore. It's an
Hmm.
imposition. You're coming to dictate what the
Hmm.
other party gets. America came to
Right.
the negotiating table and said 0% enrichment.
Right.
Iran has a right to enrich uranium.
Hmm.
They have a right as an independent state to enrich uranium. The United States has no right to say Miss Country A or Country B is not entitled to have an enrichment program. Well, we might talk about enrichment to what extent, right? But they have a right to do that. Iran came to the negotiating table to negotiate how much or to what extent they could they could enrich uranium and what they would use it for. Again, civilian purposes, you have a right to do that. They came to the table again this time around and they said no ballistic missiles. You know what that means? Say Iran should stop producing the only thing that they have as a defense.
Right.
Even in a weekend, nobody would accept that. So it was obvious that America either was not willing to negotiate fairly and in good faith with Iran, and that they were just coming to lay terms and to ensure that Iran would not accept them so that they could strike. That is what it sounds to me like. And then you talk about you can't support your allies. It's like telling the United States that, hey, you can't support Britain or Canada or this. They are allies. That's why they call them allies. You come to Iran and you say you can't support Hezbollah, you can't support Hamas, you can't support the people of Gaza. Why would any self-respecting state agree on things like that, right? So again, you come to the negotiating table and you impose terms and you expect that Iran is not Iraq, Iran is not Cameroon, Iran is not some weak country who have no history. And no, Iran is a self-respecting state with people who would die for their country, and that is what they are doing. Again, Iran is the underdog. I'm not saying that Iran is as sophisticated or is as powerful as the United States. The Ayatollah said it, that you might be the world power, but no, that Iran may eventually give you a slap that you will not be able to stand. Iran does not need to win. Iran is not fighting to win. Let's put that very clear. Iran is taking a position to prove to the United States and the rest of the world that the United States is a failing power. Yes, they might be a superpower, but yes, their reign of terror and it's failing. That's why Iran can stand up to them. That's the only reason why Iran can stand up to the United States, because yes, the United States is a failing superpower. That is why the United States and NATO and Ukraine cannot defeat Russia, because they are a failing power. The West is a failing power, and it's just a matter of time. Again, we're getting into what they call the multipolar. It's a multipolar war. It's not a bipolar unity. It's not, no. It's a multipolar. There are other superpowers coming up. There's Russia, there's China, there's United States, and they all have to figure out a way to live together, knowing that each of these states are powerful. So again, back to your question, which was it fair? Yeah, it tells you that I don't believe that the United States has a right to attack any independent, any sovereign state. George Bush was even courteous enough to go to the UN and lie that Iran had weapons of mass destruction. But at least they attempted to follow the rules. They lied in the process, but at least they made an effort. They recognized that they could not unilaterally go out and attack Iraq. So they came to the United Nations and they lied to everyone. Weapon of mass destruction. You remember Colin Powell holding the vial and saying this is what substance did he and said at least they did something. Donald Trump unilaterally went into Iran. Well, with their very good friend Israel.
Yeah.
And they started the second war. So yeah, no, it's not fair. America is not the world's police. It doesn't have a right to attack states that they don't agree with, or states that they don't like. America does not have a right to do that. So let's talk about fairness. Do you believe that it was proper for the United States to preemptively attack Iran? Again, without any evidence that Iran is a threat to the United States, unless you have evidence in the contrary.
Yeah, fair. Before that, I'd like to read a comment from Victor Kamini. It's nice to have you back, sir. Again, his comment is, the fight is above us. Please leave him. Let's deal with our own problems. Sure, we have problems, and we talk about our own problems, and we also talk about the problems of others. So We are not
It,
limiting
it's no
ourselves to the
fun only
problems.
talking about your
It's
problems.
not fun.
You
You
have to
can't
look
talk about the
outside
problems
yourself,
of others.
right?
So, and then Cynthia Chick say, "Hi guys, it's happy to have you back. Really nice to have you here again, Cynthia. It's such a pleasure." Um, Zita, they go big ball run. Fair. The question again, was it fair? No war is fair. Someone has to crush the other person. You fight to defeat the other person. You are not fighting for proportion. You're not fighting like I killed 1,000 soldiers, so you have to kill 1,000 soldiers. That's not how it works. That's not how real war works. And they come in to crush you. That's the purpose of war. War only starts because people have tried other measures, diplomatic and otherwise, to be able to come to a conclusion, and they haven't found a way. That's usually how war starts. Um, I think you're missing. You're pretty knowledgeable on the Iranian side and the right to enrich uranium, but also Iran and America have a history, and Israel have a history that has gone back way back. We're talking about 50 years.
Mhm.
Okay, since the coming of Ayatollah into to be the supreme leader of Iran. So you can do a quick Google search to be able to find out what happened in his first year. He came to power. I'm not saying this is right. You can judge for yourself, whatever. But in his first year coming to power, there has been a couple of atrocities that were has been committed against Americans and American troops and Israeli troops and all that stuff. So I have a few here that I'm just going to read out loud so people can know what I'm talking about. Okay, in 1979 to 1981, the Iran hostage crisis. Iranian students seized American embassy in Tehran, taking 66 American hostage. They held them some for a total of 444 days and made demands of extradition of the deposed Shah. We all know about the Shah, the new guy who is trying to come in to run a little bit. 1983,
Don't,
Beirut
don't don't
embassy
you feel
bombing.
don't you feel like you started that story halfway at the end?
Halfway?
That's the end of the story.
Okay.
You
Well, I'm
can't
just
talk
I'm, I'm just really
you can't talk about the hostage situation without talking about the Shah himself and
okay. Well,
why they
but
got to that
that's your
point.
that's your
No,
that's your
no,
position
no,
to
no,
defend.
no, no. I mean, Ghana, if you're telling a story,
But
it
that's
makes
your
sense to
position
tell
to
the
defend.
story. Sorry.
That's your position to defend. You're more than welcome to bring it up
No,
in your
I
rebuttal.
mean, now talking about fairness,
Uh-huh.
don't you think it's fair to start the story where it started than
Oh,
getting to the conclusion? Because the only reason why they had the the crisis was
mhm.
because the Iranians were fed up of the puppet that the United States had put in power
Right.
for more than 40 years,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? A dictator who killed his own people.
Right.
That is the only reason why Ayatollah came to power. We all know
Hmm.
that. So if you start the story at the hostage crisis
Okay.
without
Well,
explaining why they got to that point, then now there's a little bit of bias. It feels like there's a little bit of impartiality that comes in, right?
impartiality.
Yeah,
Fair point. Fair point. I
right.
didn't hear you give any justification why the United States went into Iran. You didn't give that. So that was impartiality on your part too. Okay. So you can push back on my part.
Okay, yeah,
To be
sure,
fair. Okay.
sure.
So I'm just giving you
Yeah, just
context. Okay.
I'll let you speak. Sorry.
Why? Okay, 1983. Bombing, suicide bombing, car bombing, Iran-backed Islamic Jihad. They killed 63 people, okay, including 17 Americans at the U.S. Embassy in Beirut.
Mhm.
Okay. What's the other one? 1996. I'm just this just a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
The Khartoum bombing, Hezbollah killed 19 American airmen and injured 500. The
So
most recent one,
when you speak of Hezbollah, Hezbollah is not Iran, is it?
but they are supported by Iran. Like
Hezbollah is
Iran,
Lebanon. No, 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 no. Hezbollah is Lebanon. Iran does not control Hezbollah. Hezbollah is an ally. It's not how do you call it? It's not what's the word, Ghana?
is not. I don't know what. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Hezbollah is an ally. Hezbollah is
Mhm.
not how do you there's a word.
There's a
It's
word
not
then again, but it's an ally.
Iran does not control Hezbollah.
What?
Iran does not control Hezbollah. Iran does not pick the leader of Hezbollah. Iran does not plan
No, you
missions
don't
with
have to
Hezbollah.
control by picking.
Iran doesn't have
Yeah. Does
control over
does
them.
does Iran fund Hezbollah?
Iran supports Hezbollah, yes.
Does it fund Hezbollah?
It supports them, yes.
Okay. Does Iran fund Hamas?
Just like Qatar does, yes.
Yeah. So they all form groups that have a main goal of destroying the existence of Israel and the United States. Iran itself, the the supreme leader has said has chanted and promoted the death to America, which is a common phrase in Iran amongst the leaders. They have said that.
It's a
And
common phrase in most Arab countries. It's not
it
only
is.
limited to Iran.
Right, but I mean, they that brings us to the America is not attacking other Arab countries. But why are they attacking Iran? Meanwhile, it's a common phrase in other Arab countries. That's a question for you.
Was that a question?
Yeah.
Well, they attacked. I mean, you're either subjugated to the United States or you challenge the United States in any way.
Right. Right.
When Iraq posed a challenge to the United States, not a threat, just a challenge to the United States. Well, they got attacked. When Libya presented a challenge to the United States and to the West, well, Libya got attacked. We all know what happened in Libya. When Syria presented a challenge to the United States, well, of course, they supported and funded what they call moderate rebels. You remember the phrase, right? And we all see what happened. What we all know how that ended. So the rest of the countries who have not been attacked by the United States are subjugated to the United States. That's the only reason why. Take Qatar, for example. One of their biggest military base is in Qatar. Why do you have a military base in another country unless they are a subject and a puppet? That's the only reason why. The French base in Qatar, British base in Qatar, Saudi Arabia, America has a military base in Saudi Arabia. Why?
Well, you just said here that people have a right to make relationships and chat on.
Exactly. And again, I say that when you present a chat, the only reason why Qatar is not being attacked by the United States, the only reason why Saudi Arabia is not attacked, the only reason why Bahrain is not being, it's because they have subjugated themselves to the United States. They are what we call is the yes sir. That I don't know which other word,
but that's not really true. But that's not really true because you just said Qatar was providing financial support to Hamas
because Israel wanted them to do it. Don't you know the story? Because Hamas had an office in Qatar because the United States wanted Hamas to have an office in Qatar. This tells you the role that in the relationship, the role that Qatar holds in this relationship, because the United States and Israel want you to open an office for Hamas in your country. They went ahead and opened an office in Hamas. Because the United States and Israel want you to send money to Hamas, you send money to Hamas.
Okay. Let me understand you clearly, so we're on the same page. You are saying that a group that is responsible for, or at least have stated in their charter, Hamas to be precise, that their main goal is wiping out Israel off the map. Israel then lets them to have an office in a foreign country that is financing this particular group, whose main goal is to.
That's correct.
And that makes sense.
You have to ask Israel if it makes sense to them. Because again, Hamas is a creation of Israel. We all know that. Hamas is a creation of Israel. Because Israel wanted another group in Palestine that could challenge or disrupt the activities of the PLO. So they created and founded Hamas. It is a creation of, just like ISIS is a creation of the United States. So you can't ask me if it makes sense. You have to ask, why do you say what?
Well, because all these claims are flying around in social media.
No. If you look well enough, you see them.
Well, no, but Netanyahu has denied the claim that you're making. He has said he never did that. Okay. America has denied the claim that they have anything in the question. They said their activity in Iraq created a vacuum for ISIS to take place, but nowhere has it said that they funded ISIS to happen. So that's a false equivocation. You're creating a false equivalent
No,
that
no,
did
no,
not
no,
exist.
no, no.
When you create a vacuum and other terror groups come and take control, you can't use that to say you funded that group.
They they actually, I mean, Ghana, who is currently the president of Syria? Do you know? Do you
The
know
guy was a terrorist who was an American terror
Al
list.
Qaeda, ISIS
But
affiliate? Do you see the connection?
tell me, I don't,
These are the moderate rebels that
right.
Obama funded, that Obama provided
Hmm.
weapons to. So
Hmm.
it's hard to not make these connections. It is
Wait.
impossible to
So
not make
Obama
these connections.
funded Al Qaeda? Is that what you're saying?
Obama funded moderate rebels who
Al Qaeda?
were
No, but
affiliated
we're talking.
to other terrorist groups.
We're talking about Al Qaeda. I'm not talking about
It's a,
moderate rebel.
it's a chain of events. It's a connection of people. You can't talk about one without the other. You can't talk about ISIS without Al Qaeda. You can't talk about Al Qaeda without all of them are connected.
Yeah, but they're
They,
not the same group.
I mean,
They're not the same group.
it's the same thing. It's the same people. They leave Al Qaeda. They form ISIS. They move from ISIS. They are the same people. You can trace their connection to every up to you can trace that.
Hmm.
So again, you were asking me if it made sense. It doesn't make any sense. But
Okay.
that is a reality. Again, that was just the point I was trying to make. Because
Okay.
you were asking me if it made sense. It doesn't make any sense. Why
Mhm.
Israel will want to fund Hamas, why Israel will create Hamas in the first place and then fund it. And then
Mhm.
ask Qatar to open an office for Hamas in Qatar.
Mhm.
So it doesn't make any sense to me. But it's reality, right? So you would have to ask someone from Israel whether it made sense or it doesn't. But again, you go ahead, Ghana. I'll stop interrupting.
No, fair point. Please, man. Again, we've said a lot of back and forth. They're interesting.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Again, you said it's America the world police. I don't know that America is the world police. But they are certainly going out to a lot of places. A lot of people find that illegal and unconstitutional. But again, I just listed a series of events of attacks that Americans have
Did you
suffered in the
finish?
hand
I
of.
wanted you to go through more. Do you
No,
have
I
more?
didn't want to waste our time reading everything. These things are up in Google.
Okay.
Anybody listening can Google it and see. I didn't want it's a long list. Okay. Um
A long list of things that Iran has
yeah.
done to the United States and Israel that
Oh yeah.
has
Oh yeah.
come to.
That America justifies its attacking of Iran. Okay.
Okay.
There's a long list of things. And the government, Trump's government has cited those reasons and they said that's the main reason why they went into Iran. You can disagree
Yeah.
and contest that. That's fine. That's a
Mhm.
free world. We
Yeah.
all take different positions. But I don't think America is going there at the behest of Israel. They're certainly acting in conjunction with each other. Israel has also suffered its own losses from the hand of Iran. All the groups that we've cited here, Hamas, Hezbollah,
Mhm.
Houthis.
Mhm.
Israel said Iran is using these groups as proxies to be able to fight a war offshore, close to their border. So they are going direct to the south. So I mean, we might disagree. I'm sure you disagree with all of that. Okay, but they feel justified going to Iran and stopping the source. They have labeled Iran the sponsor of terror around the world. And whether we like it or not, a lot of people seem to agree with that. France agrees with that. Canada agrees with that. The UK agrees with that. Um, um,
It's like Ghana. You make
um,
a statement and you expect your children to contradict you. They will not, because it
okay,
depends on you for everything. They are never going to contradict you. It's impossible.
right.
France is never going to contradict the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Great Britain is
Saudi
never going to
Arabia.
contradict the United States.
Uh-huh.
Saudi Arabia is you
Mm.
pick countries who. What about China and Russia? Are they in
Oh,
support? What about the
mm,
countries in Africa? What about the countries in Asia? Are they in
mhm,
support of this?
right.
So when you go out, you pick proxies for the United States. How would they even contradict the United States?
Right.
Great Britain initially said you can't use our airspace. Donald Trump called and won, and then Ken Sama came back and said, okay, well, you can. Spain is the only European country that said we are not getting involved. You can't use our airspace. Donald
Right.
Trump threatened to end trade with them. I feel like they've come back on their word.
Mhm.
Your friend here here in Canada, what's his name again?
My friend
Makani.
Makani.
Makani is just going in circles because he doesn't want to take a stand. He doesn't want to contradict Trump, but he doesn't really want to support Trump. So he makes ambiguous statements here and there. Again, for the same reason.
Typical Canadian.
Typical Canadian. So again, I agree that yes, there are countries that are in favor of this attack. But now when you go into looking at which of these countries are we talking about, then you see that it's the same it's the same group of people, the same group of
Right.
countries.
Mhm.
It's the usual suspects. Usual suspects. But go ahead. I should stop
No,
talking.
I'm almost down there.
I
So
should stop.
I want to know who are Iran's friends in this conflict.
In this conflict,
Yeah.
everyone else except the ones that you just mentioned.
Okay. Who has
Everyone
said what?
else.
What did Putin say?
Putin condemns the attack.
Mhm.
He condemns the attack. The African Union condemns the attack. Again, African Union speaks for Africa mostly,
Mhm.
right? Most of the,
Yeah.
the Asian countries, they condemn the attack. So Iraq condemns, I mean, Yemen, again, usual suspects on behalf of Iran. So they are, I mean, how many countries do we have? Less than half are in support of this war. Less than half are in support of this war. The usual suspect, European Union, the Gulf states, the proxies, and then of course Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea. Of course, they would
Yeah.
support the United States. It's impossible for them to say otherwise.
Well,
Everyone else condemns the attack. So
yeah.
technically speaking, everyone else says, well, Iran has a right to defend themselves, and that the United States got into an illegal war with Iran. That's what everyone else is saying.
Yeah. Is
But
everyone?
when it comes to support, of course,
Uh,
because I condemn it does not mean I have the means to support. But I
okay.
believe when you listen to the experts and you listen to those who are more versed with this, they would say China is providing support, a lot of satellite technological data, and that's how Iran is able to pinpoint and to mark targets and to hit them. Russia provided anti-aircraft missiles
Mhm.
and some technology. So Russia and China are the only two countries who have the means
Right.
and are able to support Iran in that way without worrying about the consequences. Because again,
Mhm.
if Cameroon, for example, decides to support Iran, I mean, they would get crushed very quickly and
Right.
very easily, right?
Okay.
So yes, there's that.
Okay. Just push back a little bit on that.
Yeah.
The level of support. I'm not sure these countries support them, but they don't come out as openly as as other countries have come to support America, as America supports Israel to be precise. They are not. They provide intelligence and stuff like that, but they don't seem as committed the way America is committed to Israel. Is that is that uh,
No,
is
that's
that
true.
something that you see?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
And
that
why
is
is
very
that?
true. Again, Russia has its own thing happening
Mhm.
in Ukraine. They can't come out and join Iran on a fight
Right.
because they have their own struggles. Ukraine, China has always been they've always put themselves out there as a country that doesn't support military actions. They will not come out and support Iran in that sense, at least for now, because again, at the end of the day, maybe someone has to mediate. China wants
Mhm.
to be in a position to say, okay, I can come here and speak as a neutral, an
Right.
impartial mediator, right? Because I've
Mhm.
not picked any sides. I've just been here.
Yeah, but you agree their support is not the ones that provides arsenal, that provides area support, that provides area coverage. I mean,
They
they
are
do it some internet.
they
They
are not
do provide some.
involved. They are not involved in the fight.
Right,
If that's what you're
right.
talking about, yes, they are
Yeah.
not involved in the
So
fight.
the point is, um, they do not. I don't know that they consider it worthy enough to be able to send their troops and their
No, they will not.
military
They will
aircraft.
not. Just like the United
Why?
States did not send
Uh,
have not they have not sent troops to Ukraine, even though they really want to, but they can't.
right.
Right?
They
Yeah.
can.
So yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think China would ever want to send Chinese soldiers to come to Iran to fight against the United. I don't
Hmm.
think we've gotten to that point. That would just be third world war.
Hmm.
And I think that is why the United States and the European states are unwilling to send troops to Ukraine, because it would obviously become a third world war. China understands that. I think Russia understands that as well. They can provide weapons, it's fine. They can provide intelligence, it's fine. But to say that we send Chinese soldiers, troops down to Russia to go fight, yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Yeah. But for me, it presents like two options.
Mhm.
Either these people are unwilling to come out and fully support, which of course means that the provision of aircraft, missiles, and weaponry to be able to fight the opponent, or it is just in their nature that these people they claim to be, and they are war powers and strong in their own right, but they won't follow you to battle. They will set you up, but they won't sacrifice their soldiers, their heavy weaponry to be able to support you.
Right.
Okay. Um, I, and I don't care what your position is. I mean, obviously, you disagree with the US and Israel, but they are willing to put a lot of their technological know-how, their savoir-faire in warfare to be able to defend their ally, whether you disagree with them or not. I think it is a worthy cause that the Russia and China don't seem to do to their allies. The same thing happened to Maduro. It's happened to China. Like at the moment when you feel like you need these people most, they are nowhere to be found. That says a lot about China. That says a lot about Iran. It's either they are unwilling to be able to go that length with you, or they know that there are some shady things that they don't want to come out to light, or it's not in their nature to be able to die for another person. Okay, you can disagree with the US on a number of things, but they are willing to go very far for their allies
Mhm.
and the people that
Mhm.
support, up to the death of American soldiers.
Mhm.
So that's something that I found. And I don't know, it's very complex. There's a lot of moving parts here, but it's like, okay, Iran, you seem isolated here. I mean, you have your proxies that you are have been funding and all that stuff. But where are the people that are on your side? Like, how much are they willing to go? How much are they willing to sacrifice for your cause? Okay, I don't think they have that support that is. I mean, you've listed the hospital. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, those people is just. It's like a memo that you put out there. Anybody can put a memo on, like, oh, yeah, do not. But at the end of the day, do not attack Iran. It's unconstitutional. It's unlawful. It goes against the Charter of Human Rights. At the end of the day, those are all proclamations. They don't matter. That's why organizations like the UN, like the AU, like all these human rights organizations, at the end of the day, they don't matter because they do not have the means to be able to enforce, to be able to back up the people that they claim to support. So you can put memorandums and proclamations all day long. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's difficult for me to pinpoint. Is it in the nature of these people? Are they just deceitful? Are they not willing to go to the length to be able to support the people that they claim to be allies with? Or um, 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 is it more, are they more nefarious than that? Are they just using you to sell stuff? They really don't agree with you philosophically, conceptually, idealistically. It's just an opportune mean. So again, like it is complex. It's hard for me to put a finger on it, but it's just the difference that I see in two sides. One is willing to go to support the ally, the other is not. Is that something that I think you alluded to
if
that earlier?
if I mean if Israel had picked a fight with China or Russia, do you think the United States would openly join in the fight as quickly as it did? Probably not. The
Probably
only
not.
reason why there's this is because again they considered Iran to be weak and impotent, and so they knew that they were going to get in, decapitate their leaders, and then bomb and throw bombs everywhere, and then Iran was either going to uh, 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 um, um, to 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 plead for a ceasefire and surrender. I think that is what they hoped would happen, and that's why
Right.
Iran, and that's why you see they've attacked every little challenged. I mean, that's why they went to Iraq, because they knew that, of course, Iraq would pose
Mhm.
little to no challenge, or
Right.
no risk.
But again,
That's why
you come back to my point, right?
but they will
Iraq.
not attack any sea. They again, like I said, do you believe that if Israel had picked a fight with Russia or with China, do you believe the United States would jump in as quickly as they did?
I think they'll be more cautious because those are more superpowers.
Exactly.
They're
Exactly.
more
So again,
powerful
this
than
is
Iran.
the point I'm trying to make. Let's look at this way. Any direct confrontation,
Mhm.
whether it's through any direct confrontation between any of these superpowers, especially superpowers with nuclear weapons, is obviously going to end in a nuclear attack. That is a
Mhm.
fact.
Right.
The only reason why the United States can comfortably join in a fight with Iran is because they know Iran does not have a nuclear weapon. That is
Right.
why North Korea can do whatever it is that they want to do. The United States is never going to attempt an attack on North Korea, because the consequences are dire.
Mhm.
It is not going to end there. Everybody is going to feel the effect. That is the only reason why.
Mhm.
So Iran is a low-hanging fruit. You think the United States, if they had a way, they would not attack North Korea? They would. North Korea is chanting death to America too every day.
Mhm.
But again, North Korea is there. The only reason why they are not being attacked is because they have nuclear weapons. And Iran should start thinking about that. The only way Iran survives this, if they survive this fight, the only reason they continue to be a state would be that they have a nuclear weapon, and
Mhm.
Israel and the United States would never have the courage to attack a state that has nuclear weapons. I'm sure you can agree with that.
Well, fair, yeah. I mean, they are doing everything in their power to stop them from acquiring a nuclear weapon, a nuclear weapon. I'm sorry, because in their estimation, any nuclear weapon, they are a direct threat from Iran. And to be fair, to Iran has said that. Okay, they they've said that they want to take out Israel.
Iran is not going to Iran has not attacked Israel. Iran has never attacked the United States. So how is Iran a direct threat to the United States? I don't get it. Iran has never attacked the United States. They
No.
have never attacked Israel.
Hmm.
Maybe a proxy Hezbollah sends missiles into Israel. They have their own thing going on. They have
Hmm.
a right to do that as well. Maybe Hamas has shot missiles into. They have a right to do that. It's
They have a
self-defense.
right to shoot missiles.
You can't take people's land and expect that they'll just let you be. They will not
Hmm.
let you be. We know
Hmm.
that. When the colonial masters came to us in Africa, take Cameroon, for example, people resisted. And that is what Palestine is doing. They are resisting the occupation of their land. We know that. They have a right to do it.
Hmm.
Right? So when we talk, so you can't
They have a right. When you talk about resistance, what do you mean?
to resist. If you
What
take
does that
something
mean?
that doesn't belong to you, I have
What
a
does that
right
look
to
like?
attack you as much as I'm able to, until I get it back,
Okay.
or until you do, or until you do
Do I
to
have a right? Do I have a right to defend myself against your attack?
we will not even get to that place if you were not taking something that belonged to me. Let's start there. Would you agree
Right.
that if
Yeah.
Israel was not going seizing land that did not belong to them, they would Hamas would have no reason to even exist?
Well,
Do you
this is more
agree?
complex. This is
Do
just
you
more complex
agree
than
that
season land. Well,
Hezbollah,
this
Hezbollah, Hezbollah was only created after Israel started occupying part of Lebanon? Would you agree
mm,
to that? No, but if you don't come go causing trouble, you don't get the consequences. The only reason there was a 9/11 was because America was going all over the place, all over the Arab and killing people. That is the only
mm,
reason why.
mhm.
So when you go around causing trouble, someday you reap the consequences of the trouble that you go around causing.
Okay.
Israel is in
Uh,
the position that they are because they will not let their neighbors rest.
okay, now we're talking about the recent Hamas war. Okay.
I'm talking about
So,
the origin of the problem. That is where the
mm,
problem originated.
mhm.
The problem didn't just start 5 years. No, there is an origin to every problem. And the
Which
only
was
way you
when?
understand the problem is going back and looking at where the problem started. The only reason there is a Hamas is because Israel came, they gave them a portion of land, and they felt that it was not big enough.
Israel came.
It's a fact, Ghana. Israel
Israel
is a
came.
creation. It's a fact.
Well, okay. I mean, you just accused me earlier of being impartial. I think you're very impartial here. You were saying Israel came. I mean, that's not what Israelis say. They say they have a rightful claim to the land
No,
too.
you have a rightful claim to a land that you had boycotted for thousands of years.
Boycotted for thousands of years. What do you mean by that?
Where do you know? Again, let's take Benjamin Netanyahu. Do you know
Mhm.
where his ancestors or his grand
He's not. He's one person in Israel. He's
that is what Israel is. They are
one
Europeans
person.
that were brought down to a piece of land and handed to them because they claim that it was they really
No, no,
the
but
land
that's
was not
not
claimed
true.
by God.
Majority of Israeli, I'll say about 80% are not of European descent.
And no, most of them are of European descent.
No,
From
they're
all over,
not.
they were all over the world. They were
They are
scattered
not.
all over the world. Ghana, they
Majority
were scattered
majority
all over the world.
majority of majority of Israeli, and I read that recently, about 80% are brown skinned people.
Who live in Israel, currently speaking.
I don't know whether.
How many brown skin people live in Israel?
Okay, let's go with that.
Google. They
Google's
all have
answer.
ancestries from Eastern Europe. Most of them. Poland, Ukrainian, Russian, most of them. So they had
Okay.
left a land that they claim was given to them for a long time. You cannot come back and lay claim to that portion of land as though nobody else lived on it when you were gone.
Mhm.
So that
Okay,
is the
so
problem.
this is Google
Yeah,
that I have right there. Um, 21%, mostly Muslim, with Druze and Christian minority, Arab population. They form 21% of Israel.
right.
Other non-Arab Christians with no religious affiliation form um, 5 to 6%. Jewish population includes secular, 44%, traditional religious ultra-Orthodox. They form 73 to 74%. So oh, this doesn't really
I'm
divide it.
talking about where they came from. Are they originally from the land itself?
No, but your
Or were they
argument
brought
is
in? My argument is that they were brought in to a place that was occupied by someone else.
okay. Let's find how many
And
Jews
they
came.
gave them a portion, a piece of that territory and say, okay, you guys settle here. And they said, no, we can't just take this. We need the rest because this was a piece of land that was given to us by God.
Mhm.
We are the chosen people. That's why they claim ownership to land that now belongs to Lebanon. They claim
Yeah.
ownership to land that belongs to Syria. They claim ownership to land in the Golan Heights. They claim
Mhm.
ownership to every bit and every piece of the land around them. But no, that wasn't where that was not the part of land that you were assigned. And that is the origin of the problem. Hezbollah only came into effect after that.
Right.
Hamas only got created after that. So these are all it's how do I put this? It's it's all as a result of Israel's self-entitlement. I
So
think
okay,
that is
well,
what it is.
I don't know. Google is not giving me the detail. So
Yeah,
what will you say?
they will not give you the detail, and it's intentional.
You are attributing nefarious intentions to Google.
We all know that, Master. They are suppressing speech, especially when it comes to something that relates to Israel. Me and you know that. Tucker Carlson, your best friend, says that all the
My
time.
best friend.
Yeah, Tucker
It's
Carlson
like
is not your friend. You want to deny him today? I'm kidding.
we've
I'm
been
kidding.
on different
I'm,
side.
I'm kidding. Yeah, Tucker Carlson
um,
only got to the other side when he started challenging Israel.
yeah,
That is
when he
when.
got $1 billion from Qatar.
So what? He's not so.
Okay, so
First of all, wait. First of all, Carlson has denied that, and
uh,
nobody has given any proof of it. He has vehemently
so proof is
denied.
important, right? You can't just make statement without
He's
proof.
never received
That's the
money
point.
from Qatar.
That's the
And
point. We can't just be making statements like that without proof. You
there's
have
proof.
to be able to substantiate your claims.
Of course,
Okay,
I agree.
so the same thing. I just threw that out there to be able to see what you're going to say,
Oh, you thought
because
I was not going to agree?
you've made a lot of claims here. I don't know if we can go to the details and you'll be able to back that.
I will try to back it up. I'm sorry, Gada. I've been yeah. Um.
um. Anyways,
Sorry. Go ahead. You go ahead.
yeah. I was going to ask, just rewinding a little bit.
Yeah.
Do the brown people of Israel have a rightful claim to that land?
I think the more important question is: were you on the how long ago did you leave the land? How long ago have you lived on that land? I think that's the important question
Right. Okay.
because when it comes, you again, you have to effectively occupy a piece of land to claim
Okay.
that is yours. Me and
Okay.
you agree. If you
Mhm.
abandon land for a certain period of time and someone comes and uses that portion of land, it's hard to come back and claim that is yours.
Okay. Let's
Especially
get to
when
the
there was no
chase.
deed. There's no deed. Your deed is biblical. It's not like you bought a piece of land and you have a deed of conveyance or you have a land title or you have an agreement.
The Palestinians don't have a date.
The Israelites they don't have a deed as well. So why
Okay.
is it theirs? So why is it theirs and not the Palestinians?
Well,
Because neither of them have a deed. But the Palestinian can claim that we have been on this land for this amount of time. And when we were here, you were not.
are you kidding me?
Exactly.
Are you kidding me? So we have biblical references. We have archaeological references. You can go.
So you were
Bethlehem is in the Bible. Nazareth is in the Bible.
Agreed that you were here.
That doesn't mean anything.
I'm not disputing that the Israelite or the Jewish people were never on that land. That is not the point I'm making.
Well,
The
okay,
point I'm making is this: when you leave a portion of land for a period of time, you cannot come back and
that brings
claim
me
that
to
it
my
is yours
question.
without a deed.
When did the Jewish people completely leave the land? Because you make it sound as if the Jewish people left the land and all Jews were out of the land.
I'm not saying all, but I'm saying
Oh, they were still Jews.
most of the land was occupied by the Palestinians. That is why they had to move them to create space for Israel. Would you say that is a fact? That Palestinians had to move to create space
Yeah,
for
I'm sure
Israel.
people have to move.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Because people were coming back to a piece of land that was inhabited by others. That's why these others had to move to create space for them. And the only reason why that happened was that the British were colonial masters there, so again facts. And again, you can Google this
That's
and
true.
figure out.
That's true.
The colonial masters said we need a place for these Jewish people who have been roaming the world, right? America wouldn't take them, Europe wouldn't take them, nobody wanted them. So the only solution was, oh, they had promised them this portion of land in the Bible. It might make sense to tell them to go back to their homeland. And what did the British do? They created space. They say, hey, you these people that we have colonized, you guys will move this way. We are creating space for these other people that we don't want in Europe and we don't want in the United States to bring them
mhm.
here, maybe because they were troublemakers from the very beginning, I don't know, but to bring them here and settle them because this was
You,
land that
you
was
you
given to them.
you know that
In
Jews
the
also
Bible.
came from Arab countries.
Agreed, yeah, of course.
A lot of them came from Iraq. A lot of them came from Iran. A lot of them came from all over,
They,
not just from
like I
Europe.
said, they were all over the world. They are Jewish
Okay.
people in Africa as well.
Okay.
Fine. So
Anyway,
I'm not denying
I
that.
think we've just I think we've just too far away
No,
from the
but
point.
anyway,
But
I
they
think
are
that
connected.
we cannot fully have
They
this
are connected.
conversation without drifting. It's hard to
They are connected.
have this conversation without going into some of the
That's
history,
fair.
which
That's fair.
I think make because it helps us understand where
Hmm.
Israel is coming from. It
Right.
helps us understand where the United States is coming from. It helps us understand where Iran is
Right.
coming from.
Fair.
I think
Fair
you need
point.
to have an understanding of the history to be able to
Hmm.
figure out why people behave in a certain way. Of
Yeah.
course, the only reason, one of the reasons why Iran is a target for Israel, after they've dealt with Libya, dealt with Syria, and dealt with Iraq, is because Iran remains the only Arab Muslim state that poses a challenge in that region. If
Hmm.
not, Israel would be the hegemony, as they call it.
The
Without
undisputed
Iran,
hegemony.
Israel would
Hmm.
rule the Gulf. So Israel has a reason.
So Israel is ruling Saudi Arabia, they're ruling Qatar, they're ruling Kuwait, they're ruling
Israel has a
Oman, they're
Israel
ruling
has Israel
all
has
these people
nuclear
are the beck and call of Israel.
listen, Israel has nuclear weapons, right?
Hmm.
They are more technologically advanced. They have the
Hmm.
backing of the United States. So
Yeah.
yes,
So even Saudi Arabia that is not part of the Abraham Accord, Israel is ruling them.
Saudi Arabia almost joined the accord. Saudi
But they
Arabia,
are not.
no, they are not, but they were about to. Before
Okay.
Hamas, the only reason they refused to sign the Abraham Accords was because Hamas started their own wahala and started, and that is the only reason why they stopped. They were about to sign the accord. That too is a fact. You can verify that all you want. That too is a fact. That is
Okay.
the only reason why Saudi Arabia is not a signatory to that accord.
To the Abraham Accord. Okay.
Simple.
Okay.
And again, that is verifiable. That is a verifiable fact.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So yes, minus Iran, Israel becomes the hegemony or
Hegemony. Yeah.
the hegemony in the Gulf, in the Middle East Gulf area. Fact.
Okay. I mean, we'll be going. Just to
Bring us back.
list,
Bring us
bring
back.
us back to the kind but just to list the countries that are in the Abraham Accord. There's
Right.
United States,
Right.
there's Israel, there's UAE,
Mhm.
there's Bahrain, there's
Mhm.
Morocco, and there is Sudan. Okay, those are the countries that are in the Abraham Accord.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have Oman, you don't have Qatar, you don't have the other countries that are listed there.
Yes.
To bring us back to the Iran war, I'm sorry we had to divert, go on a
Mhm.
tangent a little bit, but like we said, it's very important for this. Your context is really important. Um, I had a comment from Laura Epsi. I don't know. I was going to read
Right.
that before
Yeah. Please. Oh, let me
I
put it back up.
yeah.
Sorry, give me 1 second. Let me
Mhm.
put it back up. I forget that I'm moderating. It's kind of moderating.
Yeah.
I'm
As from
yeah.
time immemorial, the US has always wanted to control the oil in the Middle East, so they are ready to do anything to acquire it. To me, that is the bottom line of the civil unrest in the Middle East. Okay, that's a fair point.
Yeah,
Um, yeah,
I agree.
that's what, okay. I like for you. I think we're on different sides of this conflict, and I mean, we all agree that it's tragic, and we our hearts go out to the people who have died on all sides.
Mhm.
Would you articulate my position, and then I guess it would be fair for me to try to articulate your position?
Sorry, can you
Will you
rephrase?
articulate my position on why the US is attacking the US in conjunction with Israel is attacking Iran? And I think it would be fair game for me to be able to articulate your position and see if we're representing each other fairly.
So I mean, according to those who would support Israel or those who
Hmm.
speak, it's Israel and the United States find Iran as a threat,
Hmm.
and the reason why Iran is a threat to them, even though Iran hasn't maybe no. The reason why Iran is a threat to them is because Iran is chanting death to America, and Iran claims that if they had a way, they would wipe Israel off the face of the earth,
Mm,
and if they had a way, they would do the same for the United States. The United States is worried about Iran having nuclear weapons, which
mm,
and also they are worried about Iran's ballistic missile
mm,
system capabilities. Um, they are also sympathetic to the Iranian people who they claim that the Ayatollah and the leaders of Iran have been killing and murdering, and that is why they feel like they need to attack. Would
mm.
that be fair?
That'll be very fair. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think to be fair too, I think your position is that Iran has a right to create relationships with any country that they feel or any organization that they feel like they have the right to enrich uranium even more than the capacity that the United States and Israel and other organizations call them to. They say it's anywhere between 3%, but they're high. Let me not go into that. But they have a right to do whatever they want to do with the uranium. They have to defend their borders, to have a relationship with an organization, regardless of regardless of the position of that organization on in terms of Israel and US, so Hamas, Hezbollah. They have a right to fund them. They have the right to do that. To have these connections, funds, supply weapons, and all that fun stuff, and to have any allies that they want to. I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if I'm missing something.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah.
It's fair. Okay, I thought at least just so
we
we're
are
not
listening we are
misrepresented.
listening to each other, Ghana.
You're
I think
right.
that is
Yeah,
what we can conclude, that we are
that's
not,
fair.
even though we have our positions, we are
Mhm.
actually listening to each other,
Right.
which
And
is
I
what.
hope our viewers will get it from us. I mean, when we're done this, we chat and ask about other personal things. Like we have a relation because there's a relationship to be had outside this field. Okay.
we are
Um,
we understand.
we don't try to let these things come across as being divisive. We I mean we have different opinions, but yeah. To bring it back to the larger scheme of things, what
Right.
what do you think is the overall goal of the U.S. and Israel, and the overall goal of Iran? Just to conclude here.
Israel wants regime change.
Hmm.
Israel wants
Right.
an Iran that is weak, and Iran that would be a proxy of the United States, which in fact
Yeah.
means a proxy of Iran, of Israel. Israel wants to balkanize Iran, like they say. So partition Iran is a big country.
It's very
It's a
big.
big, very rich with resources and very powerful.
Hmm.
The only one way that Israel could achieve its own personal ambitions is to split Iran into little regions and little territories, people who might not like each other, and then they can exploit and control them. So if you ask me, I would say that is Israel's goal. America is like a dog led being dragged into this war. I believe that if it was solely left to the United States, they will not be attacking Iran. And
Hmm.
when you listen to some of the comments of some of the comments from Rubio and the other people, like Trump said, he had a feeling that Iran was going. I mean, you are the president of the United States. Do you operate on feelings? Like you had a feeling that Iran was going to attack? Or
Yeah.
Netanyahu coming to the United States to see you 7 times in less than a year, and in the past couple of months, almost every month. It kind of tells you who is leading who into this war. Or
Yeah.
I heard Rubio. Who is it? Rubio was one of them said that Israel was going to go do it anyways. So we had to get in because Israel was still going, like a self a, a self-respecting country like the United States would make a comment like that.
Hmm.
Israel, who the United States funds, The technology that Israel has, most of it comes from the United States. The one that they generated themselves are funded by the United States. And Donald Trump would say Israel was going to go anyways, and we did not have any means, any way of stopping. Like, who believes that nonsense? I don't believe it.
Well, Trump does.
Well, it's Trump because he's being led. He's like a sheep being led to the slaughter. This war is not beneficial to the United States. And I would again, maybe I put that question to you: what does the United States benefit from this?
A regime change. Hopefully, they get a regime that is friendly to America, that doesn't chant death to America, whose goal is not to build ballistic missile and nuclear weapon that is aimed at Americans.
Do you know that the range of the ballistic missiles that Iran has cannot get to the
No,
United States?
no, it cannot reach. And
So
I'm not saying
how is it a threat to the United States if the missiles that they have cannot even get your way on the
right,
other side
right,
of the
right.
continent of the
Well,
how
the point is,
missiles get to you?
I don't know. Well, you should follow U.S. justification of going here. We do not want them to develop up to that point, so they are not waiting for them to get that point. That's why it was called a preemptive attack. Okay, that's why it was an opportune attack. We do not want them to be able to go to that point. Okay, so I feel like I mean you might disagree with them, but at least you should be able to articulate the reason for going in there.
You know,
These are people.
it's like building a profile of someone, anticipating that they might commit a crime in future. So, Joe, you arrest them and lock them up
Right.
so that they don't commit that crime.
Well, but that's not a fair comparison
Exactly what is
because if I
happening.
no, but that's not fair because
You are anticipating that someday they might be able to develop a range that gets to you. And because of that, I will attack them today so that they
yeah,
don't get to that place 20 years from now. It's
yeah.
you building a profile and attacking someone based on speculations.
I don't think that's entirely true because you cannot say based on speculation. We just read you the context of what has been happening between 1979 and now. The number of Americans who have died. It is not speculation. Iran has said they are responsible and they have claimed responsibility for the death of many Americans. They claim so. So you can't say it's anticipation. These are things, there's historical facts to be able to back this. Okay. This is not some abstraction in the air. Americans say you have killed several Americans in the yesteryears. We are preventing you from acquiring missiles to be able to do more damage. I think if you can disagree with that, but the facts are there to be able to say it. How many Americans have been killed? I just listed the hostage in 1979, the Beirut bombing and stuff like that. Iran has been directly responsible for killing of Americans. Okay, so they are saying we are preventing you from getting this to be able to destroy more Americans. So to say it's just anticipatory and it lacks evidence, or you're just building because you scared someone's going. No, there has been a track record of these people definitely hurting America, and they have done. So they are not just chanting "Death to America." It's not just a chant. They have acted on this. Okay, so to be able to say this is just abstraction, there's nothing to back it. It's not entirely true. I don't think that's a complete story. Respond.
Again, it's the same thing, right? I steal a pencil, I steal a cup,
Right.
I steal a book,
Yeah.
and you say eventually you might start stealing. You might get to a point where
you steal my
a car,
house.
or you steal my
Yeah.
house. So
Yeah.
I have to pick you up and lock you up so that you don't get to that point.
Do I have the right?
Do you agree that it's? I mean,
I think that's totally fair because
you
you have shown that you show me that you're going to steal from me, and if
show
you have
there's
the
a
opportunity,
propensity that you're
yeah.
going to be a criminal. So we pick you
Well,
up and
not
lock
just a
you up.
propensity. You have actually done it with the things that were available. You have stolen the pen, you have stolen the cup, you have stolen things that you are able to do. So if the opportunity presents itself, you are going to take my house. So I am not going to wait for you to take my house before I say, oh, you know what? I should have attacked you before you take my house. I am going to go there before you have the ability to come and take my house. I think we all operate. I mean, you operate in normal life. Your life functions in that way. Okay, if someone has borrowed you $50, they don't pay back. They borrow $100, they don't pay back. Are you going to wait for them to borrow $2,000 before you say, "You, my friend, I'm going to use force for you me to pay back. I mean, then you're not operating like a normal human being who has learned from experience, who is trying to prevent further damage or at least trying to control or limit the damage. That's not how normal life operates. So if you've done that before and you were only because you only had two pockets, you stole a pen and a cup. If you have a truck, you're going to take my house. I do not want you to have a truck.
Ghana,
Or
I
how
have
the
you ask. We're talking about people. How many people Iran has killed? How many Americans have Iranian killed since 1960? Just about when the Ayatollah came into power,
Mhm,
and this is what I see.
mhm.
Again, this is what I see. Right,
Right.
there has not been any direct Iranian killing of Americans anywhere.
Mhm,
America links their casualties to Iran,
mhm,
because they say, "Oh, you gave them weapons, and they used it against me." There's never
mhm,
been a situation where Iranians have directly attacked and killed Americans. Not
mhm,
the U.S. embassy bombing in Beirut. It wasn't done by Iranians. The
mhm.
U.S. Marine barracks bombing in Beirut. Well, they say because Hezbollah did it, so it means Iran did it.
Mhm.
Um, there's a long list, but I'm just picking the okay. The war in Iran, 2023 to 2011. The war in Iraq, they estimate about 1,000 American troops were killed by militias using Iranian supply weapons. So really not Iranians. Iranians were
We,
never active in the killing because
uh,
Iran provided weapons, just like America is providing weapons to everybody.
and you on this platform have held America guilty for providing weapons that has killed people in Gaza. So if you're willing to make that leap and say America is
No,
directly responsible
no.
for the killing of people in Gaza because they supply weapons to Israel, I think it should be fair for you to be able to make that leap too.
So can we agree that we are accusing Iran not because Iran has directly killed Americans, but
Mhm.
because Iran has provided or supplied weapons to
They are
groups
sponsor.
that have attacked? Can we
Right.
agree that that is the
Right.
base? So
Well,
we
but that's the base in general, yes.
that Iran has attacked America and killed Americans. We are
In general, yes.
Yeah, principle. We are saying
Mhm.
that Iran provided or supplied weapons to Mr. A or Mr. B, and they
Right.
use these weapons against America, and so Iran is responsible. Fair?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Is
Because
that are
Iran
they
has killed
not?
Americans, it might come across as though Iran has directly killed American soldiers. There is no
No,
record.
I'm sure. Sometimes they have the delegate, but that's not the
No, they
majority.
haven't.
The
They
major,
haven't.
the main point of the story is that they are supplying all these proxies that whose direct intention they are supplying and funding all these proxies whose goal is to eliminate Israel and the United States.
So you're
So
saying if Iran is going to be held responsible for that, America needs to be held responsible for every civilian or even soldier who has been killed by American weapons. Would that be a fair comment to make?
no, I,
But
I think
if you're
that.
holding Iran responsible
Mhm.
for people using weapons from Iran to kill, then of course we hold America responsible for people using weapons from America to kill. That is
I don't
fair.
think that. Well, no, I think
What do
that
we
needs
hold?
more context because I can go and buy a weapon and use your weapon
No,
to kill
America
somebody.
supplies weapons to Israel. Israel
Right,
doesn't come and buy. America provides the weapons.
right, yeah,
Just like America provided weapons to the moderate rebels in Syria.
hmm
They didn't
hmm
come and buy weapons. America supplied them weapons. Just like
hmm
America is wanting now to supply weapons to the Kurdish Iranians
hmm
so that they can start an uprising in Iran.
hmm
So if people die, is it okay to hold America responsible for the death because
they
they
bear
are providing the
responsibility. They
weapons?
do bear responsibility. Yes, they do bear responsibility.
Okay, I guess we agree on that. So yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
do bear
makes sense.
responsibility. So and yeah, that's why I say Iran does bear responsibility because if your
Okay.
goal is to fund these organizations that whose direct proclamation, in fact, is on their charter, they the non-existence of Israel. You are responsible.
Again, I just so we are clear, the statement you're making is not on the current Hamas charter. Can we agree?
I don't know when they change
We've
it, but
no, we've had
before
that
before
conversation. It's been out of the charter for a long time.
okay, let's not dive. Let's not go in tangent.
No,
But
I'm just, when we put out facts, let's try and clear them out. I am saying that
I don't know when they took it out, but I know when they
is not
attacked them,
in
it
the
was said.
charter. It's not in the current charter of Hamas. It is not.
Okay, I don't know that it's changed, but I don't
It
doubt that
has.
you said that. Okay,
It has
okay,
changed.
but that's fair. I mean, we're still on the point of responsibility.
Responsibility.
If you directly fund that, you are responsible. Anyway, to go back to the grand scheme of things,
Right.
I don't know if you had any point to add.
How does this end? I had a question. In your opinion, how
I
do
don't
you think
know.
this end?
I think the US just wants to completely destroy and decapitate Iran's leadership. They are in for regime change. I mean, Marco Rubio said that a regime that's favorable to America is good for them. So they want people who are favorable to American. People who don't want to chant death to America, death to Israel. I don't know. Nobody knows what is going to happen. Which faction is going to take over? It's an open-ended question.
Mhm.
You hope for the best, but these kind of situations are really dangerous. They're really complex. Infighting, intertribal war,
Do
spraying, and stuff like that. So I don't know how this ends. Um, um,
do you would you dream? I mean, would you see a scenario where Iran puts up a good fight, and at the end of the day, Israel and the United States decide to pack their bags and leave? Do you see that scenario? Because
I
again,
think
let's not forget the 12-day war did not end with Iran
right, yeah,
asking for a ceasefire. The
mhm,
ceasefire came from Israel to the United States
right,
and then to Iran. So the
mhm,
12-day war, Iran, I mean, if we want to talk about who won, yeah, Iran would say Iran won because who asked for a ceasefire? Israel did ask for a ceasefire. So do you see the same? I mean, you can disagree all you want, but at the end of the day, it wasn't Iran that came and said, let's stop.
mhm,
It was
mhm.
the United States that said,
Where was
we have done what we think we wanted to do, and so we are not doing it anymore, and that's it. That is how the ceasefire came into existence. And
okay.
so my question is, do you envisage, would you see a scenario where the United States decides that this is too much for us and we are just going to leave it here and and move on? Again.
Maybe. They seem to be still going strong.
Mm-hmm,
They seem to have caused a lot of damage.
mm-hmm,
Um, they've killed a lot of people. So
mm-hmm.
they have an upper hand. They are right now controlling the airspace of Iran. That's why the Kurdish forces are able to do a ground level attack. Okay, so
They haven't. Are they attacking Iran? Are the Kurdish
well,
forces
they are about to
attacking?
stand. I
Yeah,
think
but
they're about to make.
so I don't know that any American or Israelis jets are flying over Iran.
But the Secretary of Defense or Secretary of War just said that they control the airspace of
No,
Iran.
no, no. Again, just like I mean, you can say you control anything. You're controlling a country's airspace. Yet rockets are leaving that country every day and hitting Qatar and hitting Bahrain. So how do you control an
This
airspace?
was today. I don't know. I don't know.
No, but again,
This
when we hear it again, Trump says what he wants to say. Rubio says what he wants to say. Hexet says what he wants to say. When I listen to what they say, I turn around and look at what is happening. Because even today, as we speak, Iran has been attacking U.S. military bases all over the Gulf.
mhm.
If you control a country's airspace, they should not be able to shoot even one missile. They should not be able to do that.
Why not?
That
You
is
can
when
still
you
shoot
say,
missiles when no, you can shoot
not
missiles.
at this
Oh, you
rate.
can shoot missiles
Not at
when
this
you
rate.
well,
If,
but
I mean, Iran
well,
is
but to
listen,
say
Ghana,
someone controls your airspace, that
Iran is shooting up to 2,000 missiles a day. You
right?
cannot control a country's airspace and they are shooting 2,000 missiles.
No,
That is
this
why
is recent development.
Even Russia cannot claim to control Ukrainian airspace. Because
I
you
I-
can't,
well,
you
I,
can't
I'm,
put a missile
I
as
mean, I'm sure we disagree, but that's what they claim, okay?
no, but
But
that's why it is a claim. It's not a
I
fact.
mean,
It's not
none of
true.
not me, not you are military
No, I
expert
said
here.
they. That is why they claim so.
They claim,
But
yeah. So
but again, it's a claim that can easily be that can easily be dismantled. If
right.
you're claiming that you're controlling a country's airspace, how are they shooting 2,000 missiles and drones? How are they doing that? How are they shooting your planes from the air? How are you have to ask yourself those questions?
Well, I don't know the details, but I don't know that you require a control of your airspace to be able to shoot missiles. I'm sure it's very possible for you to be able
So,
to shoot
what is the
missiles without
advantage of
necessarily.
controlling a country's airspace, Ghana?
You can fly and control flights in that place. It doesn't stop
Which
missiles
flights?
from
Because
flying
at
out.
the end of the day, you're talking about civilian flight. No civilian flight is happening. So, which
No,
flight are you
military
controlling?
flights, military aircraft.
Is Iran wanting to fly military aircraft to do what with?
No, it's America that's wanting to fly their military air flights in Iran and target in Iran. So they control
But
whatever
they are
flight
not.
goes up.
And that is why I'm saying that
I mean,
American
I don't know. We don't
Ghana,
know. We just speaking here. We
no,
don't know.
we are following this war.
We know what.
Me and you are following this war. When we hear something, let's look at the facts on the ground, right?
Hmm.
The facts on the ground are this: Iran is still shooting missiles and sending
That's true.
drones and shooting American airplanes to the ground, right? America does not drop bombs. America is not dropping bombs and shooting bombs. America they are not flying over Iranian airspace. They are not. They are shooting missiles from the
How
sea.
the
They are shooting
we
missiles from the
right.
sea, or they are using the airspaces of the other countries, Syria.
Well, I'm saying this is a
Lebanon.
development today. This happened today. That they said they have control of Iran's airspace. It
But
happened
me,
today. The Secretary of War
I'm
announced
talking
that
about
today.
today. I'm talking about today, Ghana.
So
Today is almost ending. I'm talking about today. I'm talking
okay,
about day 5. This is day 5, right?
right.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about day 5.
Anyways, those are claims, whether they're true or not.
And that's why I'm challenging them. I'm not challenging
Okay.
you, and you know that.
Well, I don't
I'm
know. I'm just
challenging
saying
the
what they
claims
claim.
that they are making.
Oh, but whatever they claim, whatever I claim, yeah. Let's look at the destruction. You cannot say you're winning when your supreme leader is there. That doesn't make any sense. When
I mean,
members,
see,
are you winning?
no, speak, Ghana, speak.
Are you winning? You can say you're winning. Your supreme leader is dead. The next in command is dead. A host of your top military personnel are dead. I mean, sure, you're shooting missiles and killing people on the other side, but I don't know if we can say that Iran is winning it here.
I didn't say Iran is winning, and I don't
Okay.
think anybody in
Okay.
their
No,
right
maybe I
mind.
misunderstood.
I don't
Maybe
think
I
anybody in
misunderstood.
their right minds will say Iran is winning.
Okay.
But I'm saying
Maybe I
Iran is
misunderstood.
putting up a good fight. Iran
They
is the
are putting up
underdog
fight.
it
Of
is the
course, they are.
underdog in
No,
the
I
first
agree.
place.
No,
Iran
I
is the
agree. Yeah.
underdog in the first place.
Yeah.
But
So they put a good fight. Yeah.
at the end of the day, right?
Mhm.
Would America or Israel say they won if they do not get a regime change?
I don't know that you say that they say they want a regime change, but is that their goal to start
If they
with?
don't if they don't meet the objectives that they laid in the first place, would they claim that they won based on the number of
Well,
people they've killed or based on the amount of devastation that they've caused Iran? Is that how you
the-
measure victory?
well,
I don't know.
no, because 51% is a pass, 70% is a pass, 80% is a pass, so it's 100%. I think this is war. This is complicated stuff.
How do you measure
Okay.
victory? I guess that's the point
That's the
I'm trying to
point.
make.
How do you measure
How do you
victory? I
measure
mean,
victory?
the taking down of Ayatollah is already victory. The taking down of other several decisions is already victory.
So
The
so
bumping of military aircrafts and other itinerary
assets,
in
right?
their supply, it's victory. Okay, do you want victory 100%? That's not even normal.
Is Iran is it okay if Iran says we have made all these victories because Iran has
Of
bombed and
course, they
destroyed
are claiming victory.
American targets?
They,
So let's leave. The point I'm trying to make is let's leave the little successes that each state has had. I'm looking at the big picture. If America, if at the end of the day the Iranian regime remains, there's no
Mhm.
regime change, there's no civil war, there's no Turkish, there's none of that. And America has to either pack his bag and leave. Do they go
Mhm.
saying that we won?
Well, they can say they won in certain aspects.
The regime has not changed.
Yeah, but they won in
You
this
haven't
a
you haven't
significant
ended the
amount of.
ballistic missile program. You
Uh-huh.
haven't ended their capacity to enrich uranium and to eventually come up with a nuclear bomb. How
Yeah.
did you win? By the number
I
of people you
mean,
killed? By
those
the
are the things
devastation
that.
that you caused?
Well, you're making it sound as if these things are black and white. These things are very complicated. And to be say you win one, I mean, America said they won the Second World War. The British said they won the Second World War. A lot of people died, and it
Yeah,
was
but
at a huge cost, human and.
the only reason why they can claim that they won was because those who were vanquished came to the table and signed a defeat and agreed that they had been defeated.
Right.
That's the
No, but
only
you
way you claim that you won.
no, no, no,
So
no,
if at
no.
the end of the day,
But I don't. But those things are more complicated than that. You
it's
can
as simple
you
as that.
because
And
in the ground in the
it's
no,
not that
it's not as
complicated.
simple as that. I don't like to be that reductionist in very complex issues like that. You have a grand objective, but in those objectives, there are small objectives that you have to attain. If you attain 70% of those small objectives in your grand objective, have you lost? Like where are you on the scale? These
So
things are
so
very
so I'm
complicated.
saying, okay, Ghana, America has its objectives, right?
Hmm.
And they've accomplished 70% of those of the
Right.
objectives.
Will you say
Iran
that's a win?
Iran as well have their objectives.
Right.
If they attain 70% of that objective, do they claim that they've won too?
They've won in certain aspects, yes.
No. Do they claim that they won the war?
I mean, people whose supreme leader and the top generals have died. They're still claiming winning. Iran is still claiming victory, even though it's Ayatollah is dead. He's
And
been
so
dead for a
what?
few days now.
Ayatollah is just one individual. He Ayatollah
Are you saying he
dying does not
doesn't?
end. Ayatollah is not Iran. The Ayatollah is not
What?
Iran. He is not Iran.
Well, I don't care. I don't.
He
Okay, let me
is
put it in this
just an
perspective.
individual
I don't
religious
care.
leader who appears, who is at the head of. He is not Iran because his die doesn't end the state of Iran.
No, I don't know that that's Americans' goal to end the state of Iran. And that's not their goal. But I'm just saying these are very complicated issues. They're not black and white. There are lots of moving parts. To be able to claim overall victory doesn't necessarily mean that you've attained all your objectives. Okay, you win some, you miss some, but in the general scheme of things, can you say you've? That's why even Japan says they won the Second World War because they want certain things. You
I've
know,
never heard that, but okay.
oh, they do say that. If you go and ask the Japanese, they say they won the Second World War.
After coming to the table
After coming,
and
well,
signing a defeat.
yeah,
Well,
because
then, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody wins.
well, that's the point.
Everybody
Because
can claim that they won. Yeah, true.
yeah,
It makes sense.
well,
Everybody can claim
Amber is winning in Cameroon. Amber says they're winning. So this is a really complex. I mean,
it does make
it's very
sense.
difficult to
Right,
paint a black and white picture on it
right.
because it's very complex issues.
What's your opinion on boots on the ground? I hear Trump has
I
started
don't.
making, and the only reason. Sorry, I'll ask you the question first, and then I'll make
Yeah,
a
yeah,
comment.
yeah.
What do
I
you
don't
think
know
about
that.
boots on the
I
ground?
don't know that's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised with that, but I don't think. I mean, 'cause you have to understand. Especially the MAGA base. There's a lot of divide in the MAGA base, in Trump's base. Okay, because Trump did campaign on not going to war, and a lot of people are looking at this as starting a new war. They are making an argument that this is ending a long time war. So I mean, there's a lot of divide in the MAGA base. So I think boots on ground will be going a stretch too far, especially for Trump to be able to justify that to his base. I don't
Mhm,
think that he's willing to do that.
mhm,
I don't know that he's going to go to that extent. I think he wants to keep it with just um, weaponry, aircrafts, a warship, and stuff like that. We already have like what six, seven, maybe five, six American soldiers who have died already. So I think if this number starts going up, it's going to be difficult for him to justify amounts in the base. So I think he's trading this very difficultly, very carefully. I'm sorry, he's trading this very carefully. He has to articulate why this war was important, what are the objectives, have the objectives been met. Again, with all of that in mind, I think boots on the ground would really be a stretch for Trump and his administration. Because again, they have campaigned, he did campaign on starting no new wars,
mhm,
and this is already a difficult position for him coming out to defend this. And I think his goal is to be able to limit this to a short time and say we went there, we achieve our goals, and we're out of there. We have nothing to do. We're not going to create another long-standing war that he himself has um, um, has blasted,
Criticize, right?
criticized previous administrations for. So um, for me right now, I think that's far fetched. I don't want him to. It'll be very difficult for him to be able to justify that to his constituents and to the larger American people.
Um, no, the November elections is coming, the by-elections,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you are in the US, so I will ask you, what is it that you're seeing in terms of
I don't know. I don't pay
how
attention so
well
much. I mean, Democrats are gaining, of course, they're using the opportunity to gain grounds. I don't know. I've not been in the US long enough to be able to understand how the system works. Um, I think it's still open. Usually, Democrats are
fair
making
game?
ground, fair game. Trump is very interested in senatorial race, House race that are running in different states because he wants to maintain control. I mean, there's a I mean, it all hinges on a few things. I'll say inflation and the economy, and this war in particular. It will
Mhm.
not be another important aspect that Trump has to come and justify and make the people see that they was ready to go into Iran, and make the case that this is not a forever war. This is ending a war and stuff like that. So he has to make the case to the American people to be able to vote. I can't vote here. I'm not American. I'm just a visitor here, but. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I have no way of um, measuring the temperature here politically.
Mhm.
I don't want to just be confirming my biases and being an echo chamber. And I think there's a lot of moving pieces, but Trump has to be careful because um, he's making a lot of bold moves that can turn out to not be the right one come election time. But he has a few months to be able to convince the American people to see
Stand his
reason with him.
ground.
But I don't know. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, just I just kind of wanted to ask you
yeah,
those to see how
yeah.
what
I
the
don't know.
temperature is in terms of the
Yeah,
election coming, because I hear that first of all he is for those who believe in polls, I think he's losing
he's
ground.
losing a lot of polls. Yeah,
He's losing a lot on polls, and that is something that is very important to Trump.
yeah.
He
He
does
loves
not
the polls.
like to come across as though he was failing. But again, that is exactly what is
Yeah,
happening, and the worry is, and even just talking about his base, I think his base is somewhat divided.
yeah,
And again, it's not just this war. Let's not
yeah. There
forget
are many things.
that
Yeah,
they have been
what
divided.
it means to be American first. It's a
Yes,
huge
what
question
is
in
American
in
first?
Trump's
What
space.
is
Yeah,
that? And then of course we talk about the Jeffrey Epstein
I've seen
situation,
stuff. Yeah,
which Trump and his surrogates had claimed that, oh, we are going to release the
mm,
documents, you guys are going to see what's happening, but until now, they are redacting everything. There are no names, they release information, and you really can't make sense of what is going on. You can't
yeah,
identify who is involved,
mhm,
and because the base is feeling that Trump is protecting the elite class, because again,
yeah,
poor people are not in the Epstein file. These are business,
yeah.
powerful, lots of money,
Right.
and so there's the division on that, and we see that very clearly with Tucker Carlson and the Candice
Mm.
Williams and the Nick
And these
Fuentes
other
and
ones. Yeah,
all of them, right? So
yeah. Oh
when
yeah, this
when
is.
when the key, because again, when we talk about the MAGA, these are the people, these are the figures that we talk about first. The Marjorie Green Taylor, who is
Hmm.
deciding not to run again because
Yep.
Trump is not
It
going
was
to let her
anti-Trump now.
rest, right?
Hmm.
She's not anti-Trump per se. She just does not support the decisions and the direction that Trump is going. Not that he's anti-Trump. Just like you can't say Tucker Carlson is anti-Trump. He just does not agree with
Well, I
her.
mean, yeah, that's part of life. Yeah.
Um, so when you look at things like that, you see that Trump will lose a significant portion of his base,
Hmm.
and at the end of the day, the Republicans might win, not because they are better candidates or they have better policies, but just because MAGA is so disgruntled that they choose to not go out and
Right.
vote, right? So yeah, there's definitely that happening.
Hmm.
How he turns this around is is something that we have
He
to
has a
wait
track record of turning things around.
we have to wait and see. We
We've
clearly we
said that.
really do
We
have
said that in
to.
2020. We said that in the 2024.
Yeah, I mean that is why
With
he
that
that
time
is
in
why that is
2016.
why he lost that is why he lost to Joe Biden, because
Right, right.
he
And
was not able
people think he was done. He was done.
he was
But
not able to turn things around, right? So
yeah,
again,
yeah.
so yeah, that is where we are.
Mhm,
Again, day 5 of the war continues. We are
mhm.
definitely going to come back and do an update maybe after a day or
Right.
two.
Yeah.
We are back and we are going to be as regular on the show as possible
Mhm.
after the short break. And yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a
A
lot
lot
going on.
going
There's
on.
the
We'll
Epstein
be there to
file
let you guys
that
know.
we haven't even touched on,
Yeah.
because there's the Iran war, there's the Ukraine-Russia war that is still ongoing. There's the economic issues that we could have conversations on.
It's a trauma going on.
There's yeah, I said there's Cameroonian politics, there's politics in Africa. So there's clearly a lot that is going
Yeah.
on and that we would like to talk about. We do have our platform is very open.
Yeah.
For those of you who are listening, or adding your voice in the comment section, if you ever feel like you
We
have
don't
something
delete comments.
to say. First of all, we don't delete comments. We engage. We put out every
Yeah.
comment that comes in,
Yeah.
whether we like it or not. We put it
Yeah.
out because again, our platform is that open. And if you ever feel like you wanted to contribute, you wanted to come on and have and be part of a conversation, please let us know. We will invite you in and give you time to know you should share your views. Our better politics, yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's a good
It's
one.
warming up.
It's warming up for sure.
It's warming up.
Um,
There's a
so
referendum
yeah,
coming
who
up.
knows? We might have to talk about a little bit of better
Yeah.
politics as we
I am
go.
looking forward to that. Yes.
And again, Laura, if you feel like you feel like you're comfortable coming on and telling us a little bit about what is going on, and
I have a lot. I just have a lot to say, especially Alberta and Canada
yeah,
politics in
yeah,
general. Just the people who have crossed the floor
right.
and gone. It's there's a lot to talk about.
So
Personally
yeah,
disappointing, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
there's a lot going
We'll
on,
talk
and we
about
can definitely do a show on the situation here in Alberta,
it. Yeah,
and maybe Canada generally
yeah.
speaking. Ghana, final words before we head out.
I mean, we've said a lot of things. We hope the war comes to an end. We're sorry about the loss of life. We wish there was no war in the world, but it
The
is what
first
it
place.
is. Um, I think people, our viewers should take from this is we can disagree, but there's relationships to be had outside of this. There's um, agreeing to disagree. There's presenting your point of view, and we must not see from the same point of view, but we respect each other. We try to read and explain our horizon on this thing, and we, first of all, always try to acknowledge that we are not expert on these things, so we are just sharing our ideas. I hope our viewers can take that and have conversations and still maintain relationships. At least that's my hope from all the content that we put out there.
Thank you very much. We will see you again soon, and thank you for letting us in your homes, on your tablets, on your iPads, on your phones. We are very grateful, and we will see you again soon. Have a good night. Thank you. Bye.